want to move in to 5 steps actually, that I want you to follow to be successful at Georgia. First, every semester, I want you to develop a relationship with a faculty member, at least one faculty member, where that faculty member knows you by your first name, no matter where they see you on campus. If you'll look at the faculty member's picture down this screen, I'm going to talk about Marshall Shepard, the atmospheric scientist on the left-hand side of the screen. Dr. Shepard is quoted every day worldwide about changing weather, about weather in the economy, weather and ag growth. He is known everywhere. Some of you will have the fortune to take classes from him. You will have that type of mind in class. So get to know those faculty members and talk with those faculty members about what you're experiencing and talk about what's going on in the world. We're getting ready to go through a presidential election. We're getting ready to go back to school after a pandemic, and we're going to be dealing with that for quite a while. Talk to these faculty members about what you're experiencing, what you think, and what you believe, and listen to what they say, what they think, what they believe, and how they see the world. I don't expect you to come into agreement with them, and I don't expect them to always agree with you, but I do expect you to let them challenge you to help you think in broader context. So I don't care how you do it. Pick the faculty member you like the most, pick the faculty member that scares you the most, pick the faculty member that you think's the funniest. If you can't come up with any other way, take all your faculty members, their names, put them in a hat, and draw a faculty member's name out. Get to know a faculty member every semester. 2 things will come out of that. You'll have those brightest minds to talk about that I've already talked about, and then more importantly, perhaps, you'll have somebody to write letters of reference for you as you go to graduate school or into your position, which having a reference letter from a faculty member or a staff member at Georgia will make you anything but average. It'll get you noticed more so than other people. Second, I want you to break out of your comfort zone. Everybody tells you to come and find your place on campus, and yes, I expect you to do that. But I want you to take advantage about everything the campus has. You will never be in an environment again where you have so many different types of people that see the world differently than you. And oftentimes, if you're like me or other people, it's real easy to point our fingers at somebody and say, hey, they're the problem. Always remember, and I forgot who I heard this from, but when you point your finger at somebody else, there's always 3 fingers pointing back at you. So I want you to think of right now the philosophy, the religion, the political persuasion, whatever difference that we as a society unfortunately judge each other on and separate ourselves on. I want you to think of those people, whoever they are, that give you a full body shiver of the willies. You're just uncomfortable. Well, I expect you while you're at Georgia to get to know everything you can about them so you will grow, and give them a chance to get to know you so they will grow. Again, 2 things are happening here. You're going to develop conflict resolution skills that are going to help you in your work because you will be in diverse environments all the way into your future. The world is getting much, much smaller, as we've seen with this pandemic. So we're going to have to deal with each other and our issues. And so get to know each other and develop conflict resolution skills. Probably the best place you're going to use your conflict resolution skills is when you have a family, when you get connected back to your family at home, or you build new friends at other places. They're going to be people that see the world like you, but they're going to see them differently. My favorite example of this is my wife and I, when we first met here 30 plus years ago at the University of Georgia. When she was in grad school and I was working here, we started dating, we started falling in love. We would walk the hills of Athens, and we talked about everything about what we wanted our lives to be as we were getting serious in our relationship. And we got married, and we found out the one thing that we didn't talk about was politics. We got married on August 13th, 1988. We went through our first presidential election in November of 1988 and found out that we canceled each other's vote out because we saw things differently. Well, 2 kids and 32 years plus of marriage, we figured it out. But get out of your comfort zone, learn conflict resolution skills, and when you do that, when you can look at other people, and more importantly, when you look at yourself, you develop integrity because you can see the differences you have with people, but you understand those differences, and you learn to respect those differences. Third, I want you to try something here that intrigues you. You may know you're going to be a Peace Corps worker, a teacher, a minister, a banker, a politician. You may know all kinds of things that you're going to do as you come in and what you're going to major in. Fine, pursue your major. But if you're a business major and you like the violin, then take violin lessons. If you're a music major and you want to learn something about accounting, or you want to learn something about service, or if you want to learn how to work with kids in a different way than you're working now, then take classes in education, take classes in sociology and social work, take those different opportunities to learn, because you'll never have so many things, again, at your fingertips to explore. Again, personal story for me. When I graduated from UNC in 1980, I was driving home. It was a beautiful winter day. I graduated in December of 80. Had my 1969 Buick LeSabre, probably going a little bit too fast. It was one of those beautiful southern winter days that we had. I had my windows down. It was about 60 degrees. I had my 8-track player jamming. Half of you have no idea what I'm talking about. I had my 8-track player jamming to Earth, Wind & Fire's greatest hits. And September came on, and I had an epiphany that I was not going to go into YMCA work, which is why I went to UNC to major in recreation and leisure administrative services. And what my parents expected based on what I had said, imagine this, you get home from graduating and say, Mom and Dad, thank you for school. Now I don't know what I want to do. Well, you'll figure it out. I had been an RA and done some other things at UNC. Before I knew it, I took an RD job at a small liberal arts school. I was going to get a business degree there, but one thing led to another. All my friends that I was working with were taking classes in higher education, signed up for a graduate class, and never looked back. I took a class in ethical issues in higher education, and now this fall I'm starting my 40th year. I have a master's and a doctorate, and this is what I was meant to do, but I never realized that in college. But all those experiences in college have helped me do the job I'm doing now. So try something different, because you never know whether that's going to be what you're really being called to do, what your purpose in is life, to go out and change the world from there. Fourth, I want you to understand that you have a voice. I talked earlier about being your own best advocate. Other people are advocates. We're a public institution. We take the rights of free speech, the rights of free thought, the rights of citizen engaging in debate, and we have lots of different types of debates and protests on this campus. Not every day, but practically every week, there is some type of activity that falls under our freedom of expression. As faculty, staff, and students, we have complete freedom of expression here. We're a public institution. For people that are not part of the university, they have the right to come to some of our areas where they are designated forums where they can register and they can protest too, and that occurs regularly. I encourage you, when those protests happen, to go and learn something. A couple of things are going to happen. They're either going to get you to think in ways that you haven't thought about before, or they're going to make you angry and get you to own your own set of values more so than ever before. I remember at UNC, I had to walk from South Campus, particularly my last 2 years, from South Campus up to the campus, and I had to walk through what we would call here our equivalent of the Tate Student Center Plaza, where we have lots of demonstrations going on. And I would stop and I would listen and I would engage. And it would always get me to think about why my values, why I believed what I did, but it sure helped me understand some of those conflict resolution skills I talked about earlier that connected with students, with other people and how they see the world. And really, that really has expanded my worldview and understanding in such wonderful ways. And that's part of why I like working in a college. I'm still growing and learning those areas. So I hope you will take advantage of here. The final thing I want you to do to be success is I want you to be aware of the basics. The dumbest thing you can do is, if you're not prepared for class, to compound that situation by not attending class. You go to class whether you're prepared or not. If you're unprepared and I, as a professor, call on you and you feel embarrassed in class, I promise you that's only going to happen once. You won't ever let that happen again. Learn to manage your time wisely. Learn to manage your surroundings wisely. Learn how to pick yourself up when you fail. on some type of assignment, whether it's a paper or a class or even an exam or even the entire class, I don't care that you fail. I care about what you learned when you failed and how you're going to build upon that, pick yourself up and move on and learn how to spend your money wisely. Obviously, coming to school is not an inexpensive venture. I want you to get involved in the community. I want you to get involved on campus, but be sure that you're budgeting your resources wisely from there. There's lots of resources here at the university that we can help you with that. So at the end of the day, I want you to be involved. Here are 2 books. The book on the right called Collegiate, 7 Big Ideas to Make College Awesome. That was written by 2 of our students. They graduated 4 years ago now. One was a student athlete. Both were honor students. They both were engaged. And they came up with these great ideas about how to make college successful here. You'll see and read lots of things as it relates to Georgia. The second book on your left, Making the Most of College by Richard Light, Students Speaking Their Minds. That's my favorite book. You can imagine in my position, I read lots of books about students going to school. This book went out and interviewed about 3,500 students nationwide, talking about what they learned from their mistakes, their successes, to build upon from their first year through their 4th year to be successful in college. So I commend both of these books to you. These books, I will tell you, the first 3 of you that reach out to me to get connected in some of our drop-in discussions that we have for every orientation session with students, if you get involved with those, it's called Getting Down with the Dean. I'll give you the first 3 for each session that get involved to that. We'll work it out, and when you get on campus, I'll give it to you from there. The rest of the time, everybody that signs up, I'll take you to plays, I'll take you to lectures. We'll go to the botanical gardens. We've gone to the botanical gardens with a naturalist and walked at night to see things that we wouldn't have seen otherwise. I'll even, heck, if you want to learn disco, John Travolta back in the day had Nothing on Me. I'll teach you disco, but we'll go to other types of events on the campus. All those events are free to students because I raise money to do that. The UGA Parents Leadership Council is a big contributor, but other people give money, including myself, give money to make those events available to students free of charge. So please take advantage of that. Again, at the end of the day, your whole purpose about coming to Georgia is to find what you're being called to do with your life, what your purpose is, and to go out and change the world.